when you make the entrance to heavenliness look easy and fulfillment look easy, there's going to be a torrent of momentum behind you. And a lot of people are going to be so amazed by how easy you make it look that they don't know what exactly you're doing. And then other people are going to be so perplexed by how easy you make it look that they're just not going to really care. Now, anybody that actually knows how to get to certain places in life, how to better themselves, how to stay disciplined, how to stay intact, and to be tactical, they're going to see this kind of person like yourself, and they're going to be perplexed by how easy you make this look. And it's not just the entrance to heavenliness or fulfillment that you're making things look easy for. It's just things in general. Maybe you're naturally talented in a certain kind of sophisticated skill, or maybe you're naturally talented in intelligence or intellectual problems, or maybe you're really street smart, or maybe you know how to fight really well. And there's a bunch of different kinds of interests that you could have that are going to put people on to a spectrum for you, because they want to put you on a spectrum. That's what it really is about. These kinds of people that see you make it look easy, they want to categorize you. And oftentimes you're the kind of person, if you're actually this kind of person, you can't categorize that. You can't categorize somebody that has the drive and the ambition to go above and beyond in everything that they do, or in that specific craft that they are striving to perfect. And it is about not necessarily perfection, but to strive for perfection and to continually escalate the levels of difficulty through life. Because I've noticed that a lot of people, especially people that are godly, it's almost like they want to put themselves in a higher level of the matrix difficulty level. They want things to become so difficult because life is just too boring for them. Have you ever noticed that? Some of the people that are most talented and really know what's going on, they almost purposely sabotage themselves sometimes to try to make life a little bit more difficult and more fun and challenging. Because especially the men out there, that we want to have that adventure in life. We want to be able to live a life that is thrilling and exciting, but also borderlines on a bit of danger, but also maybe has a little bit of romance here and there. We want the full package. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting the full package, but it's going to put you in a position where you're going to have to make certain kinds of decisions. And well, you got to make certain sacrifices. And me personally, I'd rather be fighting my inner demons than go clubbing or something. Maybe I might make a video about that, but I'd rather be fighting my inner demons. I'd rather be working on things. I'd rather be creative, and I'd rather be growing closer to God than going out to the club or the bar or going out with friends. It's not because I don't like people. It's because I just would much rather be working on what I've got going on in my life. And I know that the time here on this earth is limited. And it's not to say that I'm afraid of death necessarily. In fact, I'm ready for it. And I don't want it to happen because I like living here for the most part. The pros definitely outweigh the cons, but we definitely live in a matriarchal and matrix society where it's becoming more matriarchal by the day, it seems, and people continually think that we're in this patriarchy of some kind somehow. And, you know, we have to keep the Batman mask on at all times as men when we go out into the world. Otherwise, nothing is going to get done. Nothing is going to happen. And I don't want to have to be this kind of callous person or this cold person, but most of the people in the community, they don't really know how to appreciate the humility that some other people have. And it's not just my community, it's everywhere around the world. People just don't know how to appreciate somebody that is humble. And so And it's not necessarily because you're desiring to be humble. Like, it's not just being vulnerable or just being humble. It's about embodying it and really manifesting what it means to live in that way. And this is one of the reasons why you make it look easy. If you make it look easy, you oftentimes have some kind of understanding of what it means to be, humanized as well as moralized. And it's not always going to be the case that people that have sold their soul to the devil, for example, they're going to make some things look easy, but it's going to come at a consequence and a cost. There's not really a price to pay for making things look easy in regard to following the Most High's will. There's not necessarily a price to pay. You have to invest. You have to be willing to invest. That's really the cost, if you want to look at it like that. There's not really a, okay, how much do I spend here? It's, okay, how much can I invest here? That's the difference between somebody that is godly and somebody that is not godly. Somebody that is godly is looking at ways to invest in themselves and their lives and the people around them and the things at large. Whereas people that are not godly are striving to look at things on, okay, how can I spend this to get that? How can I spend that to get this? How can I do this to spend that in order so I can have this kind of title so that people can look at me in that kind of way? I don't care about titles, and I don't think anybody else should either. I think we put way too much emphasis into titles and such, and it's not necessarily because it's because I don't really care what you are. In a way I do, but I want to know what you can do rather than what you are. I'm more interested in who you are more so than in what you are. And I'm always going to be speaking to people based off of who they are rather than what they are. I've had people in the past recently that have, maybe within the last couple months, there was this guy at the gym I was playing basketball with, and he was trying to talk himself up because I could see that he obviously had some kind of semblance of respect for me, and I appreciated that. But he was trying to talk himself up so much to try to make himself feel like he can be included. He can be included with like my vicinity and my energy, and he can be around that kind of person like myself. And that kind of is always, you usually only do that in job interviews. Like, job interviews are the times where you go above and beyond and like, yep, these are my achievements. This is what I did. This is how I'm doing. And, that's just the way that things go sometimes. Is you want to make sure that in certain situations, you're going to be more directed toward certain things. And that's okay. That's fine. But you got to know the time and the place for it. Other times, people are just going to try to take advantage of you, or they just want to make it seem like they are going to fit in with you just to try to get some of your energy and try to rub off like, what's your secret kind of a thing. And I'm just not about that. I'm just not for that kind of lifestyle. I don't really care for that kind of lifestyle. I don't think anybody else should either. And so when I look at people like this, I don't necessarily demoralize or degrade them. I just understand what they're doing. And you don't need to say anything about it. You just inwardly acknowledge that, okay, this is what's happening with this person. This is what's going on with this person. That's it. That's all you do. So if you can match the energy of people around you, that's another good thing to do in those kinds of situations. But if you're making things look easy and people are starting to hate on you, that's when they're going to try to throw you off your square, going to try to throw you off your beat. They'll do anything to make it seem like you don't deserve the success that you really deserve. And don't get me wrong, there is a bit of luck that comes involved with a lot of different kinds of modalities of life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's no hard work involved. Now, of course, yes, there's a little bit of luck to get myself to where I am now, and all that goes to the praises of the Most High. So I praise God for that. I look at God for that because I know that I considered myself unlucky for the longest time. And it was only when I started to really believe that I can be lucky that things started to change. And so you got to be mindful, though, of how you portray this kind of thing to other people, because they might see you and they might hear you talk about your luck, perhaps, like, right? And some people might think that, oh, so all he does or all she does was lucky. So it was just luck. But they don't see the real ones. The real ones do see, but the people that don't know how to be real with themselves or with others, they're going to see you and they're going to think to themselves, oh, this just happened overnight. He was just lucky. She was just lucky. That's not exactly what it is at all. At all. They don't see the years of labor and hard work and the inner work that you have to go through to get to certain places, the kind of discipline. Really, I would say from the time of my life, the age of 22 to 26, and I'm 28 now, were the roughest years of my life, because that was when I did the bulk work of the inner healing, as well as really trying to figure out what this world is about, what this world is really after in some way, shape, and form. Because it always seemed to me like there was a purpose for life had for itself. And now I've come to the conclusion that life itself is its own goal. And we need to acknowledge that and respect it for what it is. And that's why God calls us to be having reverence for all of life. That's why as men, we're supposed to have dominion over the earth, of the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and all which moves upon the earth. We're supposed to have a reverence for it because we're the ones that are supposed to take care of it. We're the ones that are supposed to give something back. And that's what I try to do every single day. And I took a lot of this pain and I put it back on other people. It's funny, and it's not because I wanted to put pain on others. It was that I took this pain and I gave it back to other people in a way that was transmuted in a healing fashion. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what I believe I'm called to do, just personally by the Most High God, is I need to take this pain and give it back in a way that is a form of teaching to other people. And that's exactly what I'm striving for and aiming for. And people have oftentimes talked about in my videos how sometimes there's a little bit of seemingly contradictions. Sometimes I get messages and they're like, well, wait a second, you said this in this video, you said that in that video. Okay, well, let's address that. Is there really a contradiction here, or are you trying to make there to be a contradiction? Because a lot of people that see you doing it easy, like you're making it look easy, they're just going to try to find something to purposely misunderstand you. And that's something that you must be careful of, because some of these kinds of people, they'll just watch you just to try to misunderstand you. It's really bizarre. If you have the kind of time to watch through not just my videos, but other people's videos and try to purposefully misinterpret them or misunderstand them or write hate comments, you don't have a life, man. Like you just don't have a life. And I don't want to be around those kinds of people. I'm not even going to try to respond to those people anymore, because in the past I've tried to bridge the gap. I've tried to be cordial, and it never goes anywhere with those kinds of individuals. Now, if there's a legitimate critique that says, hey, look, this is what you said here, and this makes sense, but here, I don't know why, or I don't know how this doesn't co-align or coalesce with what you said here, but to me, this is why what you said here doesn't coalesce with what you said here. And you give me a fair critique, I'm not going to be upset about that. But if you just say, oh, well, you're just trying to mix things up, you're just trying to do this, you're just trying to do that, oh, okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, sweetie pie. It's all good. You don't need to be here. It's fine. The people that will get this will get this. The people that don't. That's okay. That's what we're here for, is to just learn and evolve in our own ways. As long as we're growing closer to the Most High God and have faith in Him, everything's going to be fine. So, with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. If you do want to join a godly community where we are building our minds, bodies, and souls each and every day, check out the Regal Change Academy. We do have a Seek retreat coming up for the Regal Change Academy. You don't have to be necessarily in the Regal Change Academy to participate, but if you are in the Regal Change Academy, you're going to get a discount on this. And it's going to be an all-day virtual meditation retreat where we're going to be doing guided meditations throughout the day, an opening and closing call, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. And so if you want to sign up, but you don't know if you want to join the Regal Change Academy just yet, email me at regalchange@gmail.com. Also, I want to appreciate everybody that has been moving from the YouTube platform over to X, Rumble, Instagram, etc. I appreciate your guys' extra support. Also, one more thing with the Regal Change Academy. So we have the free Discord available, which has a few different kinds of resources for meditation, fitness, etc. Then we also have some more free resources coming in down the line. In the paid academy, we have the Art of War class series going on. We've got a Godlike Savage class. We have meditation workshops, healing workshops, AI, entrepreneurship. Like, we've got a bunch of different kinds of topics available for you guys. So we've got something for everybody there. With all that being said, I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and peace be with you. Till next time.